in fact, will stay with England. Of course, England drew 1-1 away at Ukraine. It was live on talkSPORT on Saturday evening. It was a lacklustre performance from Gareth Southgate's side, and talkSPORT's Adrian Durham was not a happy man.
When they were on the ball, they didn't play well. They didn't really open up Ukraine, and this is where the problem is, I think, for Gareth Southgate. He's in an era now, in charge, where he has the trust of the players, where he has some very good attacking players, but they don't attack very well for England. And that is becoming a problem for him. His substitutions today just did not work. In fact, they left us all a little bit bewildered. With these players, England fans expect better.
We do expect better. 03717 223344. You can come on and have your say. We'll have ours in just a sec. In fact, you can have yours, Benny, because it was lacklustre, it was poor, and you looked at the starting 11. We were talking about the players that are involved in this England squad and should be in the starting 11, and then you question why it doesn't work at international level when it clearly does at club level. Is James Maddison, who's flying for Spurs down the middle, him being put out on the left wing for England, does that basically highlight the problems England have got? You're using players that are flying for their club and just not playing in their preferred positions, or putting in those kind of performance at national level, international level.
Yeah, there's an element. I mean, there's so many different elements to that, as you said there, because one of them, as you said, is James Maddison against Burnley was playing number 10 in behind Son, was brilliant, wasn't he? Then you pick him and you play him from the left. Well, you pick James Maddison because of his form for Tottenham, playing in his correct position. Mm-hmm. That's one element. And then you talk about you picking players that go into the squad that necessarily have got experience. Well, I get it, the Maguire situation is bonkers because he's not playing in games. But then on the flip side, someone who's never let you down and is flying is Raheem Sterling, and you leave him at home. Whereas Raheem's been Chelsea's best player. So that's another thing you go, well, Gareth, that doesn't make any sense. You're contradicting yourself there. When I look at this obsession with the two holders, I think that's the one thing I go, well, we've got Jude Bellingham again, who's getting in the box, can get involved. We've got James Maddison. You've got them two there that can cause damage, and then you've got Declan Rice, who's capable of doing the kind of holding role himself. Mm-hmm. When you don't pick them three and you start trying to shoehorn people into positions that don't necessarily play there, what do you expect? You're going to ask yourself for criticism. You're coming in for criticism. So, for whatever reason, the team just looked a little bit disjointed. I think it was always going to be a lot difficult than people thought. They thought they were going to walk over Ukraine. That was never going to happen. Not there in Poland. That weren't going to happen. They went 1-0 down. It was a stodgy performance. And sometimes you have these at international level. But I just think sometimes Gareth is just a little bit reluctant to really fully take the handbrake off and let the guys go and play. Because, yeah, you might concede one or two more chances. I understand that. It's international football. But think about the creative players on the pitch that can go and win games for you. Rather than hoping that you win 1-0, these guys will go and get 2, 3, 4, create opportunities, let them go and play. And Gareth's always quite reluctant to do that.
I think we've got a great chance of winning the Euros, but only if Gareth Southgate picks the right starting 11.
Well, he's not going to do that.
So do you think if we don't win the Euros, the main reason will be because of the manager?
100%. It has to be, because if you had someone like Pep in charge of these players, and I've said it before, with the philosophy and the style of football he wants to play, England would win something, because he just understands. Not that listen, he's a better manager than Gareth, that's just fact. But he understands how to win the games and how to get the best out of certain players. And I almost think at times as well, it's just a bit too negative. I think even, you go back to the game, and for some bonkers reason, I was watching the Euro final on YouTube this morning when they beat Italy. You go 1-up after, Italy, it was not a great Italian side that we've seen in the past. You go 1-0 after 2 minutes, go and get the second, go and get the third, because Italy were there for the taking. They don't do it. Even the French game in the World Cup, was it quarters or the semis? Quarters. Where they get themselves and they're bossing the game, and it's a little bit reluctant to really let them go and win the game. It doesn't happen. I genuinely think with the players that we've got and the level of player we have, playing at the top clubs in the world, winning the biggest trophies, it can only be the manager's fault if we don't win anything.
How does it feel as a player when you're in the dressing room on the back of a result? It wasn't a defeat. It felt like a defeat. If you're sitting there thinking, we're going to get pelters. Do you realise on the pitch when it's 1-1, there's 5 minutes to go, and you're thinking, if we don't get a result here, when we get in the dressing room, our phones will beep, we'll pick up the papers, we'll turn on the radio. Do you feel like that as a player?
Do you know what? It was worse back when I was playing. Now it's not so much, because, yeah, you're still going to get a little bit of criticism. But I think now with some of the journalists, because they're all on social media now, and some of these players have got such big followings, like huge followings, the moment they tweet something that may be a little bit, not that they didn't play well, but they take it a little bit further than that, the player has got the means to go straight back at this journalist and go, hold on, what are you talking about? And then it becomes so they're reluctant to do that. And to be fair, Gareth Southgate, that's a positive, which he has done. He's bridged the gap between supporters, press and the players. But certainly back then, yeah, we'd get in the change room and it'd be like, oh, we're going to get pelters, and you pick up the newspaper and it was like they'd try and find the harshest headline they could. Do you know what I mean? It was awful because you knew it was coming. But to be fair, that is one thing Gareth has done, as I said, is kind of bridge that gap between the players, the fans, and the supporters.
Going back to what you were saying before, if you could sack Southgate tomorrow and put Pep in charge, you'd do that.
Yeah, I would. I think you'd be an idiot not to. You're talking about arguably one of the greatest managers ever, not just now, ever. That knows. And again, look how many's in his squads. He's got Stones,
Walker,
Walker, Foden, Grealish. That's 4. He's had Sterling. Knows how to get the best out of Sterling. So that's 5 just there. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure he knows. I just think with what he does with Manchester City, the football that they play, I don't think he'd find it too difficult to be able to get him in the right frame of mind.
And also, just going back to what I was saying before about players playing out of position, James Maddison had a great start to his life at Spurs, and now he's playing in a position he's not used to playing. Yeah. Right. If that's you, if you're being called up for the national side and you're being put in a position you're thinking, I don't want to play there, does that affect you mentally, or do you still go? Well, of course, I'm going to give it. I know they're going to give it 100%, but is there part of you?
They won't feel comfortable, because they're thinking, well, I play week in week out in the number 10, and I'm playing left wing. It's almost like, and this has happened before with Gareth, because if you can remember when Harry Kane's England's greatest ever goal scorer, he's England's captain, number 9. I think he was flying. I think Tammy Abraham was flying. I think Danny Ings was flying. I think they were the 3. And just to get Danny Ings in, to give him a bit of game time, he put him left wing. Now, Danny Ings has just scored 22 goals for Southampton. Why the hell is he playing left wing? Like, do you know what I mean? If you can't fit him in, then don't bring him on. But you're not doing him. He's not getting any justice by playing left wing when he's been playing for down the middle for Southampton.
One easy question: why are England so poor? Is it an easy answer? Leon's a Man City fan. Hi, Leon.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, just finished work, so I'm on my way to the gym, so yeah, all good.
Oh, good boy, on the way to the gym. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Oh, that's nice. Off to the gym in the afternoon. Great way to start the week. Well done to you, Leon.
Thank you.
Go on then, England, why?
Yeah. Until Southgate leaves, England will not win a thing. I never wanted him. He's one of the worst managers to ever take on England, and he has to go. He is boring, he's rubbish, and he has no idea what he's doing.
Leon, the only thing I'd say to that, I mean, I can't say that he's one of the worst, because he has got to a Euro final and a World Cup semi-final. Did he get to as well?
And threw it all away. What's he ever achieved in his managerial
No, but
career?
Bentley's point is, all the other England managers before him didn't achieve that, so he can't be the worst, can he?
Well, he got to a final and threw it away.
Yeah, but none of them even got that far before him, so he can't be the worst.
What Bentley said before, I fully agree with as well. Maguire should be nowhere near that team. He should be fired from the team.
Yeah, but Maguire, Leon, I'm playing devil's advocate. Maguire is not the reason England are so poor, right?
I don't even watch England anymore because it's so rubbish to watch.
Right. How do you know we were poor? I mean, it's Maguire's fault.
He should be playing.
Leon. You've just singled out Harry Maguire, and in the next sentence you said, I don't even watch England. How do you know he was poor?
The World Cup, the Euro, he's rubbish. He cannot do it.
Leon, I'll ask the question again, right? You've just singled out Harry Maguire, but you didn't watch Harry Maguire. So how do you know he was bad and needed to be singled out?
In the last game, I didn't watch it, no.
Right. So why did you mention his name?
Because I've seen other games.
Let me tell you, Phil Foden was appalling. Do you believe me?
I didn't watch it, but okay.
Well, you didn't watch it, so you don't know. I mean, you're going to phone up and criticise players. At least watch the game.
The only thing I'd say about Harry Maguire is that he just gets... Even the goal, you look at it and go, where's he going? But...
Well, hold on. All of the England players, I felt like that when the cross came in.
I get that, but he's always going to be singled out because of his club form, which I think Gareth Southgate does him no favours. But, again, it's one of...
Listen, I don't think he should be anywhere near the starting 11.
You can't blame him. You can't blame him for that performance.
But watch the game.
Yeah.
If you're going to phone up national radio and single someone out, at least watch the game, right? Very bizarre. Hello, Ryan.
How you doing, guys?
Okay, I never thought I'd have to ask this question, but did you watch the game at the weekend?
You know what? Funnily enough, no, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Good luck with this one, Ryan.
But no, I take your point with the last caller that you can't really be slating players if you didn't watch it. But one thing that I think for me, if you look at the pool of players that we have, the talent that is within that squad, even players that aren't being picked within the squad, there's surely questions have to be asked when you are, like Benty said earlier, you're trying to shoehorn players into a team in their non-preferred position because, in my opinion, he has his favourites. I think what I just said to the researcher was, if you're Phil Foden, I think I would be going up to Southgate and saying, What is Jordan Henderson doing, right, that I'm not doing that's keeping me out of this team? Because there is absolutely no way in a million years, and this is the only thing I did agree with your last caller, is we will not win anything under Gareth Southgate.
Do you know, Ryan, you made a really good point there, and you said that Phil Foden. But I think there's a few that could do that, because I think Tomori could go to the manager and say, "Why am I not playing?" I think Lewis Dunk could go up to Gareth Southgate and go, "Why am I not in the squad? I'm playing week in, week out. I'm playing well. Why am I not starting?" But also as well, it almost reminds me, and we've seen managers do it before for England, where you start picking players like your favourites just to get them in the team. Because you remember when there was the whole Gerrard having to play from the left? And there was like, I think it was Scholes and Lampard in the middle, was it?
How'd you get them all in?
How'd you get them all in? But it just shoehorned in one to the left. It had that feel about it, that Ukraine performance.
I think the whole England squad is, in general, I think it feels very much like that at the moment. And I take your point that, you know, he got us to a semi-final of a World Cup and he got us to a final of the Euros. But then I completely agree with what Benty said again, is that we went 1-0 up really early against Italy and they were poor. They were really poor for the first 20-25 minutes of that game. And we let them back in. We should have just gone for the jugular. But unfortunately, because we have this manager that is so defensively minded and he's so, incensed on playing two holding midfielders rather than taking the shackles off the players and letting them go, that's what lost us the game. And that's why I say I do not think we will ever win anything under him, because he's not inclined to allow the players to express themselves and be able to deliver what they're quite clearly able to do on a weekly basis.
Do you know what's crazy? I know you said you wouldn't have him because of the German element, Jurgen Klopp. Yeah. But you know, if Liverpool sides go one up early, you best believe they're going for the jugular. Yeah. They're trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're right. There's other managers.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.